Hello everyone, I guess hopefully you're having a wonderful Monday. As always, we are back again with another Fanatics Weekly Review where I go through the top 100 soccer items auctioned over on their website. As always, if you enjoy the weekly reviews, do make sure to leave a like. Helps me, helps the channel, all that good stuff. But with that said, let's go ahead and pop on over to the site. Give me a second here. And just like that, we've made it on over. This week's starting pretty light, although, I mean, there's high prices. Things are going up in price. I just hit a bowl there, don't mind me. Just having a little afternoon snack. But things are going up, generally speaking. However, not as much, I guess, volume of high-end, which could be a reason why it's going up also. You know, there was a time where we were inundated with supply of just tons of great things for a couple of years, and it seems like that sort of went away to some extent, and let's talk about it. So let's get going. I'm probably just going to scroll through here pretty quick. As you could guess, this 2006 Benzema has the little blemish that I've just always talked about and sort of ranted and raved about, but well, maybe not raved, but ranted more so. So nothing too much in that row. Beyond that, got this Messi we see here a lot, a Terrace Red from 2023 Select that's unnumbered. This will be the first of a few different 77 cracks that we'll see. This is the same set as the Maradona. My understanding is some of the better players in the set had more sort of typical card formats rather than the lesser players, which would get Pogs. Next to it, we have a Messi and Xavi here, PSA 10 for $76. The White Knight Phil Foden for 81. We'll see a Messi later, which might have been a PSA 9, I'm not sure, but I mean, $81 for Phil Foden doesn't seem bad. Keeping it moving, Messi PSA 8 from 2010 for $81 in a world where Messi mega cracks are going crazy. Granted, I know that hasn't really filtered down to later years, but a 2010 PSA 8 for $80 looks pretty good. I feel like that's a decent buy if you're into that stuff. Next to it, Stoichkov, early career. I'm glad they didn't say rookie. Good on Fanatics for that. 2007 PSA 7 here for $86. 2007 ones do look pretty nice. They sort of have like a foil edge. I'm pretty sure like that red border that comes inside is pretty shiny. So PSA 7 there for an okay number, but again, not like crazy. Got a Ruby Merlin in this row out of 100 for $86. I don't know this guy. You can question my ball knowledge, but yeah, it doesn't do a lot for me. 90s Italy is not my forte. Keeping it moving, PSA 8 here on the CR7. I've always thought that this is sort of a fun entry sticker if you're looking to get into like pre-modern stuff and all that goodies. But Cristiano Ronaldo first Euro here. I mean, it's not first Portuguese kit per se, but you know it's close enough, and it's pretty relevant, I would say. $88 here for this Cruyff caricature, along with his Voetbal van der Hout that goes for 91 and a PSA 4. This is not die cut. The edges just have this black half circle border on the side, so I just want to throw that out there. Caricature Keegan here from 77. Again, same set we just saw the Zoff from. This one goes for $91. PSA 4 is not terrible by any means. That's pretty good. Middle to high for the Maradona, so I would assume the same for the others. We have a Pedri Field Level Zebra next to it for 93, and this post-playing career Cruyff for 93 as well. You can see I won this one above it, the Alcantara and Zamora 1920s playing card. As we can see here, I'm just going to zoom in because I really like the image. It's a fun one, so I was happy to go ahead and snag it. This is one of my favorites in terms of imagery out of Spain for this era, and they have tons of good ones. So certainly other ones I'd like to grab, but this one clearly a fun duel. Alcantara, one of the best Asian players of the era, moved on over to Spain, did a lot of work there, and Zamora, one of the best goalkeepers of the era as well. So two very relevant players. A fun looking card, happy to get that, and I thought it was a decent price as well, not that it, matters a ton. But next we got a couple Peacock out of goalers there, going for nearly 100. This Adrenaline Mbappe, which I was interested in. I just realized that this is sort of off the page, so let me bring it in just a smidge. There you go. How's that? All right, cool. This goes for $96. I'm always just interested in these because I don't see them that often, but I just wonder if they ever gain steam, and clearly not. This one's been around $100 going back, into like 2022. At one point in time, if we do scroll back far enough, it'll get up to the 200 range. But I mean, they haven't fallen a ton. They haven't really gained much steam either. They're just kind of hanging out. Speaking of hanging out next to, we have this Messi PSA 9 refractor that goes for $96, which didn't strike me as crazy, but when you go look at comps, it's actually a fair deal. You can actually even find them a decent bit cheaper on eBay at times, but they sell for a little more at times also, you know, so the sale's pretty middle of the road, I would say. Then we have a 77 Euro Cruyff here. We got the panel action going. Pretty fun back. I just happened to take a look at it, but this PSA 6 Pop 139 higher goes for nearly 100. Also nearly 100. This entire row, I did sell this Matthias Sindelar. Great player for the set, one of the best players in the Koenig set. He doesn't have a ton of releases either. The 08 back is a more rare back, at least one of the more rare backs. That one and the Solo are the rarer of the three, and this one went for, I thought, you know, a decent number. I bought this closer to like 60, maybe 50 to 60, and I just wanted to sell it to sort of consolidate into some other stuff. Still love the set, probably aim for it in higher grade at some point or another, but for now I was happy to go ahead and sell it, and I thought it did all right there. PSA 8 Messi sticker goes for $98 from the 2006 World Cup, along with a 2010 Panini FC Barcelona PSA 9 for $98. Above that, a Nabisco Cruyff. This is sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's almost like a GIF, where if you sort of tilt it in the light, it changes position, and he's sort of doing moves. I think there's a 3-piece set of this. I could be wrong on that, but there are others for sure. In terms of price, this actually was pretty good. I looked it up, and then I closed it just because I got all the info I needed. It was around $40 to $50 at times for sure, like best offers on eBay last year or 2 years ago, and this one goes for about double that, so this is seemingly a decent number. Next to it, PSA 7 Ronaldo. We also have this Itaraf Franz Beckenbauer from 74, which I did take a look at, just out of curiosity. You don't see a ton of these. I know the Cruyff is a desirable one in this set as well for sure. And in terms of price, pretty good. I mean, PSA 6 last year went for 100. This one goes a little higher on auction this year, which isn't bad at all. Last PSA 5 did 105 on eBay, and that was a best offer too. So getting auction prices, well, getting bin prices on an auction is always a good sign. 7 watchers there, which isn't a ton, but still does an okay number. 7 watchers here as well on this top. Now, Lamine Yamal, red carbon fiber Erling Haaland next to it from 2020 Topps Chrome. My understanding is the carbon fiber reds are basically almost as rare as the regular reds, from what I can tell. So, you know, make of that what you will. But 112 on that doesn't seem cheap. It seems fair, I guess I would say, considering it's raw and presumably wouldn't grade in a 10. Got a Cruyff promo here from Puma in 1969 that goes for 115, and then above that we have this Sidira Pele, PSA 4 for 115. This Mega Cracks 2016 Messi. I do like the look of this one. This PSA 9 goes for 117, which was a pretty decent number compared to what I had seen prior to this. I think that at times they've definitely sold for like half of that, so that's doing pretty good. These Instant Messis, number 118, the sort of iconic one there of him lifting the trophy, that goes for 117. Those have been anywhere from like 90 to 150 bucks, so that's in the range for sure. In this row, again, nothing too much to talk about. A couple selects of Messi and Ronaldo. Purple Mojo Ronaldo going for 126 is kind of interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. That's unnumbered, and I'm pretty sure they're fairly common. But you know, correct me if I'm wrong there. Kevon Sullivan here, Cubic Blue. Interesting stuff. Out of 99 goes for 132. Above it, Vanderhoek Cruyff PSA 4 for 150 nearly. We have a 2023 Lamine Yamal. I didn't click on that, but PWCC wants me to see it anyways. I say PWCC, it's Fanatics, you get the idea. But we have a Lamine Yamal PSA 9. It looks like a sticker, yeah. Panini Este goes for 144, along with this Messi 2018 PSA 9 for 150. Kind of surprising to see that so high up here. You know, one of the more recent in terms of dates, and not like the best looking by any means. I don't know. Just sort of interesting. I definitely take personally either of these two. Both of these are beautiful cards. I really prefer the one on the left. I think it just goes so well with the background. I think it's one of the best looking Mega Cracks cards out there myself. I own one raw, but it's not like I'm saying that because I own one raw. So, you know, you can take it for what it's worth. But one of my favorites, this one also very cool as well. But I think that the aesthetics on the one on the left are just so much better. You know, maybe hiding in this row and also hiding on the sticker itself. This is 1958 Titulares, where you get half a Pele here on the right. So he's just sort of sneaking in there. PSA 4, 162. I mean, you know, it's not one that I like by any means, but as someone that messes around with the PSA registry, I mean, 162 for the PSA 4 doesn't seem crazy, but clearly it's one of the least desirable, if not the least desirable, Pele rookies. So, it is what it is. On to page 1, and here we go. Starting at about $200 to get into the top 50. We have a Cruyff Vanderhoot in a 2 for 192. That's, probably fair. It does have the eye appeal sticker, which may mean it's a little light, but, it is what it is. Next to it, we have the first of many Americana Ballas USA team stickers that we'll see. I think all of them are authentic altered. This one goes for $192. This one says Sosa, but I don't know how true to form the names are on this set. I know that they're bad on the Tingholes. I know that they're bad on this one. So I'm not sure which ones are true and which ones are not. So, I can't add a whole lot there because I don't have that memorized. So I apologize for that. But PSA 7 Messi here goes for $192. We have a triple 1 of 1, which is just crazy. I mean, 3 pretty solid autos, a 1 of 1, and it can't even hit $200. I mean, Leaf may as well just hang it up to some degree. But they must be doing all right, or must be working out. I guess I don't know. Nonetheless, we got a Gaetjens here again. Can't speak to how true the nameplate is, but we'll go with it. Thomas Muller rookie, PSA 10 for 210. I looked it up. I think I even kept it. Really nothing to see here, to be honest. It's been around 200 for a while. Been as low as maybe like 170 at times. Back during the boom, a bit more. There's a $900 sale there, an $800 sale there, $600 sale there, $500 sale there. Needless to say, probably a bit high. People might have been ahead of their skis there with those $800 to $900 sales, but 200 seems to be about where it's at the moment, and as low as 150 at times. So above it, McIlvaney goes here for 210 out of, again, the same set. I think we'll even see one more maybe above this, but a good amount of those going this week. 1979 Crack Maradona. I looked this up because I didn't feel like I'd seen one in a while, and we actually haven't. I mean, the last one to auction on Fanatics was a year and a half ago, and that was a 1.5 SGC that sold for 100. There was a 1.5 on eBay in November that did 76. Granted, that looks pretty rough for a 1.5 nonetheless. And this one, which, to be fair, looks really good for a 1.5. I'll give it that. That goes for $210, which is certainly a high price, and maybe just the eye appeal could be, what's doing that. I mean, the back doesn't look bad either, so could just be the eye appeal sort of dragging that up. Also could just be some natural appreciation. Not quite sure. I mean, yeah, there's a 2.5 there for 129. Seems like they've popped up a little bit, but maybe back to like 2022, 2023 pricing. But looks like a good sale, also good eye appeal, so take that into account. We have a Silver Select Lamine Yamal PSA 10 for $216. Above it, a Rummenigge PSA 8 for $240, which I did look up out of curiosity for this Panini sticker. And, depend what you compare to. If you compare to only PSA 8s, this is one of the lower sales. We saw a sale back here for $265, $312, so this is $240, so it's a little low. But there's also like a PSA 6 sale recently on eBay for $27, which, probably is just a ridiculous deal. But at the same time, it's a comp, it's in here. So depending where you look, could be high, could be low. I guess all to say it's probably fair price. Euroflash Calcio Flash Maradona PSA 9 for $264, along with the Cruyff. Not sure on this one. Haven't really seen it, but we're going to go with it. Looks like it was hand cut. I don't know if I'm seeing that right at the very end, but could be. Yeah, it says hand cut at the end, so not sure where this is from. Blank back as well, so not a whole lot to read into that, but nonetheless goes for $264. Pop 1 of 1, 2 higher. Only 10 watchers, though, which is always an interesting one to see here on the front page. Keeping it moving, 1973 Campione dello Sport Pele in an 8 for $264. We also have a bar here that goes for $276 as well. And then finally, a 2011 Messi Mega Cracks PSA 9 for $288. Thought it's a decent looking Mega Cracks. People want the PSA 9, pop 1 of 11, 4 higher, so not that many graded. Of course, there are many out there, but how many in PSA 9 and 10 grades, who knows? And I would imagine PSA is not going to be too easy on these types of cards, even as later year cards. I feel like not that PSA ever, grades harshly for, certain logistical reasons. But I feel like the Mega Cracks non-rookie, they're never going to be easy on those to get a PSA 10. I don't feel. Maybe they will, but I haven't really noticed it yet, and I doubt we will notice it. Above it, Casemiro World Cup Prism here, PSA 9 for $288, which I'm pretty sure this did more than the last time we saw it sold. If not, it's around there, so it didn't seem like a terrible sale, but it also doesn't seem crazy. 2024 connections here. You have a Messi and Di Maria going for $288 and a PSA 10, along with a top football Ruud Gullit. It says rookie. I want to say it's second year as well. Nonetheless, PSA 6 Pop 105 4 higher goes for $300. Above it, this is a weird one that I see a lot of these on eBay, but they're Topps Museum Collections vault. So it's like a vault thing where it's a 1 of 1 and it has a blank back, and my understanding is maybe it's like some sort of test print on the front and they just sort of keep it in house and don't make a back on it and put a sticker on it just to like make sure that people know that it's not real. I don't know, but basically it's just the base card, but it's a 1 of 1 with no back and out of the Topps vault, I guess. So $312 there, interesting to see nonetheless. And if anyone has any information on maybe where they sell these or how you obtain them, I'd be interested. 2022 Donruss Pink Lionel Messi out of 25, PSA 10 for $372. Next to one of my favorites, I love this Mega Cracks, the 2010 number 389 for Messi, that is. There's also a Ronaldo in here as well. Both of them look so good. Got some nice foil on those cards, and they look good in hand. PSA 9 goes for $384, and I feel like that, I guess we don't see a pop here, so maybe there's a decent amount of them, but I'm sure that that's a decent price for the gray, but I also really like that card, so $384 doesn't seem crazy. I'd take it personally over the 2009-2014 that we're seeing up here. Certainly over the 2014, maybe less so over the 2009. I really like the 2009 design as well. Granted, I still like the this number 389 more, but nonetheless, number 69 on this one. There you go. 2024 Topps Chrome Helix Johan Cruyff. Just had to get one of those in there just to punch me in the gut, huh? You know, I mean, come on. We're not gonna do the whole spiel, but that's disgusting, and I'm ashamed to even have to witness that. But nonetheless, we'll keep it going. You know, I'll take a Christian Pulisic. People probably would, there's probably so many people out there that would say, just give me the Cruyff over the Pulisic. So, hey, to each their own. However you want to spend your money all willy-nilly in the hobby, hey, more power to you. As you can see, someone chose the 432 on the Christian Pulisic Black Color Blast, which, I don't necessarily approve of that either, at least personally. Now, if you want to, do whatever. But clearly, I didn't purchase it, so I'm not the guy. But, nonetheless, $430 seems like an okay price. 2013, Lionel Messi, number, 397, PSA 9 goes for $456. Nice looking card, but, not my favorite. It's almost like the floating heads in the background of the same guy almost make me feel like he's dead or something. This is like a post-mortem type thing, but nonetheless, $456 there on a decent looking Mega Crest. I'm pretty sure there's a Neymar of this one that I like quite a bit, but the Messi doesn't quite do it for me for some reason. Next to it, I'm not going to pronounce this guy's name. I'll mess it up, and someone will comment, "Hey, this guy doesn't know modern prospects." This guy doesn't know the 2024 Topps Chrome Orange Geometric Giovanni Quenda. I don't know. I tried. Above it, we got a White Knight, Lionel Messi, PSA 10, Gem Mint for $468. So, okay, that was Gem. I was thinking of just, comparing it to the Foden earlier. Yeah, I'd pay 5 times for a Messi card over a Foden every single day of the week. So, I think either this is light or the Foden's high. I think the safe answer would be the Foden is high, but nonetheless. Or you could have an IP auto on a Topps Finest base card. Take your pick. $492 on that one, along with a 1 of 1 Pele patch from 2023 Futera Unique World of Football. I'm not much of a patch guy, but I'd take the patch out of this row. That's just me. Above it, 1970 Poly Verlog Stars. We have a Pele PSA 9 for $552. Pop 1 of 2, none higher. Also not going to pronounce this name. I've heard this name. I could say the name if I wanted to. I don't want to. This is in PSA 10, goes for $552. Oh, God, I clicked on it, too. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, shucks. All right. Anyways, Record Pele PSA 5 for $564. Those are so cheap nowadays. Not saying they're, deals or anything, but, there was a time where they were thousands. Thousands. Easily thousands. And now it's $564. And, it's a cutout from a magazine, and it's not the best looking, and I'm pretty sure he's got Garincha's name on there, but, it's kind of cheap compared to most Pele stuff, but you could get a 1 of 1 from Futera. Up to you. Monday Chromo PSA 6 above it. These, I mean, Messi stuff's just going crazy, and a lot of stuff sort of following suit, at least to some extent. PSA 6 for $630. I mean, if you've been around for the pricing over the last couple of years, you'll know that's just crazy, just crazy. At times, certainly you could get a 7 for this price, like every day of the week, and I feel like you might have been able to snag an 8 if you got really lucky at this price, but PSA 6 is now there, and no signs of stopping currently, but you never really know when the train's going to stop. It's sort of a wild ride. We move from 600 to 1,000 very quickly, just a Jude in between, and then we have a PSA 7 R9, the El Mundo Deportivo. It goes for 1,050, which is about where this has been. I'm pretty sure this is not a recent grade. It is not, so make it that way you will. It doesn't look like the best 7. If I had to be a really critical PSA judge, I mean, is this a 7? That's a lot of white on those edges. I mean, Jesus, I send him a modern card with like a microscopic piece of white on the bottom right corner, and yeah, that's getting a 9 for sure. But you have white along every corner and every edge, and that's a 7. Like, okay, all right, whatever. I'll just keep it moving. This seemed cheap, although the back's kind of nasty, so I get that. But I mean, most of the time, most of the people are just looking at the front. So if you want, I mean, this looks nice from the front. PSA 1 of the Palarex going for 1,050. Doesn't strike me as a bad deal. I'd personally take it over the Messi next to it, but Cruyff is no Messi, especially not in the modern day. People aren't talking about Cruyff the way they are Messi, especially not Groif. I don't know how they spell. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce the G like a C, but anywho, I thought the BGS 9 was a decent sale. Those are definitely up, but not like crazy like the PSA cards are. But a PSA 1 Palarex at barely 1,000 is very shocking, at least to me. Not really getting a lot of love right now, but I guess Shevchenko is. PSA 10 Shevchenko from 1999 Merlin. I mean, my lord. It says rookie in the title. I can assure you that is not his rookie. It is. It's early, but it's not his rookie. He's got, I believe, many others. But yeah. Anywho, definitely would take the Palarex in this row. You give me the $1,000 to go spend, or if you give me the $1,230 to go spend, I'll buy the Palarex, and we can go grab some dinner or something. David Beckham rookie PSA 10 1,800. I thought this was about where they were. Apparently not. I was going to say, I know I looked that one up. Okay, the Baressi's next to it. Anywho, this one, I guess last one went for 14, 15, 12, 1,000, 12, 1,000, 11, 12, 14. So, I mean, at one point in time, I'm sure they were more. Yeah, 10,000, 8,000, 8,000. But literally, like within, half a year time, by the time people are submitting it, it's down to 3 and 2. So, it definitely came back very quickly. But generally, looking at those sales, I mean, the average price of all the sales we just saw, if you take out the early 2 or 3 outliers, it's probably around 2,000. So this is actually, doing fairly okay, I would say. Fun card, but there are a lot of them that have been getting graded, not in PSA 10s necessarily, but just generally speaking. Baresi 78 Calciatore PSA 9 for about $2,000. That one is up quite a bit as well. All-time low price here. I say all-time low, I guess, in terms of all the sales we can see it was, but one did go for $960 last year in January, and this one now goes for $2,000, so it doubles the price, and still on auction, not even like a best offer or anything, still gets double the price. And then we got a couple 2014 gold prisms. This Marco Reus goes for $2,300. I did get comps on this, so there you go. It had sold via, presumably, China/Asia. You have Pro Breaks here and Card Hobby here, $1,600 and $1,200, so it's up double over the last year. And back in 2014, you could have snagged it. Granted, not BGS 9.5, but it might have been. But you could have snagged it in 2014, 2015 for $100 to $130. So, a cool 20, 25x, not too shabby. Above it, Cyrillic text, Kylian Mbappe, PSA 8 for $3,500, pop 1 of 1, 10 higher. I saw a raw sale on eBay, I believe, for like 2 to 3K, probably closer to 2 than 3 from my memory. And so this one seems fair, not crazy by any means, but still, like, I mean, to me, man, there's always standout parallels, at least in my mind, from each World Cup. The standout in 2014 sort of weirdly, I guess, was the out of 25 green crystals. You just got the green that matches with, Brazil hosting. Looks really good. 2018, the Cyrillic text is the standout to me. Now, the problem is it's just a name change, and so, you're still looking at a base card in theory that has a different name, and, I think it's a standout parallel in terms of parallels that match with the host. And then in 2022, you have the maroon out of 22, which I think is probably more so to what they're going to try to stick to, assuming they have more World Cup Prism sets ahead. But yeah, I think that the 2022 out of 22 maroon did a pretty good job at, sticking the color, the number correctly. 2014, the out of 25 doesn't match 14, and this one, I believe the print run is 15 to 20, so it might be 18, but it's not on there, and the base card design doesn't really do a whole lot for most people. All to say, I really like the card. If I was going to get an Mbappe Prism from 2018, this would probably be it, personally, just based off the rarity versus price. You could get this, or you could probably, pay nearly the same for like a good grade blue. And, I think the blue looks nice, don't get me wrong, but I like this card more. Or you can get a Bastian Schweinsteiger for another $500, PSA 7 gold from 2014. I forgot to mention on the Royce, but of course they are both World Cup winners from this year. And so, I'd imagine that helps them a little bit, for sure, but that's a good price. And we got some comps here only to be had prior to 2020. So $109, $150, and $73. Now, granted, the 109 sale is actually the only base. The 150 is 8 World Cup stars, and the matchups down here is the Nani and Schweinsteiger. So yeah, only other sale price, $109, and now a cool $4,000. There you go. Next to it, I did bid on this one. I don't know why it's not saying it, but I do want to just throw it out there. I was pretty jealous of this card. I thought it was, a fun one for sure. More so based off the card and what it is, rather than, maybe some of the other intricacies of it. So clearly we have a 1970 Pele World Cup sticker with an autograph. One of the most iconic Panini stickers, I would say, along with a IP auto. Clearly a later in life Pele auto, which, it's not everyone's cup of tea for sure. And would I prefer it? No. But, I can respect it to some degree. And from my understanding, he wasn't like doing this against his will. I don't know how much stuff he was up to in his later age. Maybe he just had some time and didn't mind signing. I don't know what his personal thoughts were on the whole situation. But I do think it's an amazing sticker in the sense that, 1970 World Cup, you got the auto. It is in a Beckett slab, which, never the greatest. Would you prefer it? Certainly not. But the sticker looks pretty good front and back, and, the sticker's really not the appeal here. I'd say it's the auto, but you could also even say the auto doesn't look the best. But I've never seen one of these before, so I thought it was a fun one, certainly. I definitely placed some bids on it because it was like $600 going into extended bidding, so I took a stab at it, and I went decently high, nowhere near this, but I certainly was swinging for it, and still jealous even at that price. I think that it's a fun one. And that takes us to the top 3 this week, and yeah, I mean, quite the top 3. We have some stuff to talk about here. The gold Neymar, gold Power, not a whole lot to talk about in terms of comps. I mean, clearly, just an amazing card. You got a Prism out of 5. The gold Power is a fan favorite. I think base gold gets a lot of love, but I do think the gold Power looks really good as well. And so I could understand people that want to go after this. It looks great. It's half the pop. And BGS 9, it is what it is. Probably not going to get a PSA 10. I doubt you'd cross that and do well, but you're mostly there for the card. So number 1 out of 5, and certainly a fun one. I believe we've seen a gold go recently, and I do believe it did a good bit less than this, if memory serves me right. So it seems like that got a little bit of a premium there. Speaking of premiums, this one certainly did, and this is the 2004 Este BGS 9.5, which whenever you get in here, there's 2 versions that are considered to be authentic of the Este Messi. There's a darker one and there's a lighter one. This is the darker one, and on the darker ones, you want to zoom in and make sure there's no pixelation. There's no dot matrix stuff going on. You don't want any of that. And you don't have it here. It's all very smooth. The colors are all very connected, so that's good. And this is actually even before, I guess, if you want to look at grading numbers too, for BGS in particular, fakes started getting graded by BGS around 13 million. This is before 9 million, so there's really no concern with fakes. I will say, the further you go in terms of early certs, the more you do have to worry about trimming, because, back then soccer wasn't worth a ton, so I don't think they were really grading it as harshly. This also doesn't look trimmed, so it looks like a legitimate sticker. It looks like it's untrimmed. The only worry at this point would be how wavy has the Beckett slab made it, and if you look at the bottom here, you can kind of tell, it's going up a little, it goes down a little. There's probably a decent bit of wave to it if I had to guess, but that did not deter the buyers here, although I'm sure it did to some extent. The BGS sticker prices have always sort of assumed that they are a bit janky, and so I'm sure that that's baked into some degree. I'm not sure how much, but $12K there. Let's get to it. How good is that? How much is this moving? It's moving a ton. It's moving a ton. And I've been seeing people on Instagram lately saying, no one's giving any respect to the Este. Where's the respect for the Este? Jesus Christ, folks, this was as low as $2,000. There's 2 sales back here in 2023, 2024 for $2,000. $2,000. 2. And now it's 12. That's a 600% gain in a year and a half. And people are out here saying, where's the respect? Where is it? I think it's here. Jesus, what do you want? We haven't seen sales like this since frickin' 2021, all right? Relax. Although I guess we did see some 33K sales in 2021, so not quite back there. But, 2020, 2019, this was a $500 to $1,500 sticker, close to $1,000. Now it's $12. It's doing okay. It's doing okay. Do I think it deserves more respect? I would say, I dare to say even so, that it deserves more. But, hey, it's doing all right. Let it breathe. Maybe slow and steady. Maybe a slow and steady double in the next 3 years. Instead of just going to the moon. And then finally, this one actually ticking back up as well. Aquarella PSA 5 Pele. Always feel a little weird about the grading premiums on perforated cards, because is it supposed to be like this? I don't know. Is it supposed to basically not exist up there? I don't know. I'm sure PSA does, but I don't. And, PSA 5, from here, looks pretty good. Of course, you always got to look at the back, and, on a blank back, you can't see a whole lot. Is that 10 supposed to be more pronounced, or is that normal? Again, I don't know. I'm not a big Aquarella guy. I haven't dug into the weeds there, but it is a PSA 5, and if you take PSA at their word, which is sort of what you got to do with these online sales, then, hey, more power to you. This is the graph, which all time, big hump there. Big drop here, dropped to $6,000, came back up a little bit, came back down a little bit, 7.2 just 6 months ago, and now you're looking at 16.05. So a cool 120, 130% gain over the last half year. Not too bad at all, is it? Even some Pele is ticking back up. Not a lot of it, but some of it, I guess. That one certainly does, and that does it for this week. We'll take a peek at next and see what we got here. Oh boy. So we start with the PSA 10 Ronaldo. This is already, from what I understand, it's above the price of the last sold one, and we still have 6 days left, so we'll see how that plays out. PSA 7 71 bis, already close to 14. Yeah, already above 14, closing in on 15. PSA 5 Pele Aquarella again. We got some tie-dye, some autos here. I threw a watch on that, but I'm probably not going to bid. So if you want to, go for it. Don't mind me. Gold Prism. We got a Zebra here. We got a red Cristiano Ronaldo auto, a PSA 7 El Mundo Deportivo, and tons of fun goodies in between for sure. Gold matchups there, another gold matchups there. Authentic altered. There you go. Just seeing where that goes. I'm pretty sure that has a clean back, but nonetheless. And then also, shamelessly, I'm going to plug my own auctions. I barely ever auction on here, to be honest with you, but I wanted to consolidate, and I bought some big stuff lately. So if you like anything you see here, go ahead, give it a look. I got an Americana Ballas from the American team. This one I thought was a fun one that I've had in the collection for a little bit, but wanted to get rid of. That was a Manuel Neuer rookie auto, which, of course, was signed in person, but it is a pretty nice-looking auto. Granted, black on black, but still. Some interesting stuff in between. Romario, Pele, we got a Dixie Dean Koenig, rare back. We got a 3-5 Bobby Charlton, red and blue back. We got a foil Messi going. Some Maradona stuff scattered in between. A decent grade Kubala. you know, just being shameless. I mean, I never plug anything, but I'll do it here. So if there's anything you like, you know, give it a peek. Support the channel. All right. I don't put anything in these videos. I just make them for fun. So if you want to support something, go ahead and do it. I did actually sell this Tyranitar down here at the bottom just recently, if you see that. So hopefully I can find a fun Pele sometime soon. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you enjoyed as always. If you did, again, make sure to leave a like. Would appreciate it greatly. Let me know your thoughts down below in a comment as well. And if you want to see more videos like this as soon as I go live, make sure to subscribe. But with that said, hopefully you have a wonderful day, and peace.